The Battle of Lake Borgne is very, very important in the history of the United States. We're here at Shell Beach today, and we'll soon be going out Bayou Wyclosky to enter Lake Borgne. The Battle of Lake Borgne was a very fierce combat between British vessels, barges, and American barges. The fighting went on for hours. It was hand-to-hand battle. There were many British injured, and there were at least 2 Americans who died as a result of wounds sustained in the Battle of Lake Borgne. One was Thomas Catesby Jones, and the other was William Canby. They're both buried in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 in New Orleans. In September of 1814, the British fleet appeared in the Gulf of Mexico, and it appeared off the shores of Pensacola, Florida, which was then Spanish. The British established their headquarters there, and from Pensacola, over the next few months through December, the British probed the Gulf Coast of what was to be and what was then the United States. And so as a consequence of this, they tried to meet with Lafitte and the Baratarians. Lafitte refused the advances of the British and actually warned the Americans. Finally, it was determined at the worst possible time of year that the British would invade Louisiana and that they would begin by coming through Lake Borgne. Terrible mistake for them. A bad storm, winter storm, had just come through with the cold front, so that for days the British gun barges couldn't move in the lake. The lake water was so shallow there was hardly any depth to sail through. Finally, by December 14th, there was enough water in the lake that the British fleet could advance, and there they were greeted by the American Navy. The Americans lost that engagement. They were overwhelmed by incredibly superior forces. But no matter what, the heroism of the Americans was something never to be forgotten. And of course, the valiant fighting on the part of the British also had its admirable side as well. Once the news of the Battle of Lake Borgne reached the city of New Orleans, Andrew Jackson was already in place. And then he began a very effective mobilization of the armed forces that he brought, the Tennessee and Kentucky militia and the Louisiana militia, so that when the British actually made landfall, December 23rd, 9 days later, on the Villeray plantation, which is today Valero Oil Refinery, Jackson was essentially prepared. And of course, that night, Jackson met the British at the Villeray plantation, surprised them, stopped their advance on New Orleans, giving him time to build his rampart at the Chalmette battlefield. And most important things, perhaps, to come out of the American victory in the Battle of New Orleans were, one, that the Mississippi Valley and ownership of the Mississippi Valley was forever secured to the United States. Ownership of the Mississippi Valley meant that the United States could expand westward. It guaranteed the United States' destiny as a global titan, a global power in the 20th century, and as a financial titan as well. Without that battle, the United States of America would not exist as it does today. And then another interesting element to arise from the American victory in the Battle of Lake Borgne was that it made Andrew Jackson a nationally famous hero. And he was, as a result, elected the 7th President of the United States. So in a nutshell, that tells you the history.